Okay, so let's talk Icebreaker. We're going to come through into the room here. Give myself some Aria. You can see it. Okay. Oh. We've entered the room. There are a number of different ways, but basically the key thing to understand about the trick is that what you're trying to do is get yourself so that when you hold down right, you get stuck. You're effectively stuck on like the bounding box here. And then you're going to move one frame to the left from that point. Drop a Samaria block and then use that to push yourself through the rail. So the first thing is all right, how do we get ourselves kind of like stuck along the rail? So when you walk in, just hold right. You're against the wall. There's a number of different cues and methodologies that people will use. The one that I like to use is, you see this black line that I've just kind of like put myself next to? There, a black line, right? So if I tap to the left, the goal here is that eventually, actually I've covered it, right? You can see that there's so you can see the door, and then there's the lighter blue, right? And in the lighter blue, you can see that right now Link's shadow, and any sprite that you have that has a shadow will be the same way. Right now it's halfway in, right? So the trick is, this is an easy point from which to get into the go back. We have to go back. Can I not? Oh, I can't undo it any further. Oh well. Oh, I've messed up mine. Whatever, doesn't matter. This is an easy point to try and... So the goal is, if I hold down right from this specific spot, then I'll get stuck on the wall. But the thing is that a lot of the time when you try and hit down and right at the same time, you won't do it properly, right? So I'm gonna create a save state here. You can see I tried to do it, I failed. That time I succeeded, right? So watch my controller in the upper right, right? You can see I tried to hold down right there. It didn't work. I'm holding down right here again. It worked. Like, I'm still holding down right, but I'm stuck in the wall, right? So how do you ensure that you get this properly? Well, some people just do it. Gamers. An easy way is to use a pause buffer. So right now I'm paused. I'm going to hit start, and then while the menu is scrolling up, I'm going to hold down right. Right? As long as you hold down right after you push start, before the menu scrolls off your screen, you'll get stuck in the wall. Right? This is a very good way, especially if you haven't already menued to the Samaria. One of the things that people will do sometimes is, let's say you're on the fire rod here, right? And then it's like I menu, I go down to Samaria, and then when I unmenu, I hold down right. So you're basically using your menu to get yourself set for this. Obviously, you can quick swap to Samaria. That's in rando, that's faster. But if you're going to use the pause buffer anyway, it's an opportunity to take advantage of the pause buffer as well. So other people, like what I like to do is I use a slash into a down right. Same idea, right? The goal is that once you do the slash, while you're in that slash animation, you can hold down right and it buffers in the same way. It's faster than a pause, but you have less time. My suggestion, and this is how I learned it, is I used the pause buffer at first, and then as I got more and more comfortable with the timing, I switched to a slash. Other people literally just walk into it, but pause buffer is a good way to start. So now I'm holding down right, so now what? I push Y. Let go of down right after you push Y. So you can see now I'm facing down. What we're going to try and do here is I'm going to try and get to a point where I'm going to tap left and then up, right? And you can see when I tapped up, I'm not facing up, I'm facing to the right. That means that I'm stuck. I'm actually pushed slightly into the wall, and if I keep holding up, I go through the wall. So we've got our block. So I'm holding down right, I push Y, let go, right? Actually, let me see something. You can actually keep holding, like, you know, you can keep holding down right. Like, you can see I'm still holding down right. So it's fine. Like, you don't have to make it a really, it's not really tight to, like, push Y and let go. Like, it's fine. Just continue holding down right and push Y to lay the Samaria block and then let go. So now, again, the trick is we're trying to move one frame to the left. The thing I like to do is use a slash buffer. Basically, tap left and then B in quick succession with the goal of not moving too far, right? And you can see we got it. But you can also use a pause buffer again, right? Tap left and then hold up, right? The key thing to do here is after you tap left, what you are able to do is see if you got it by just tapping up and looking at which direction you turn. So this is something that if you use like a funny sprite, like for example, the Kuko sprite, it's harder to tell. There are some, or like if you're using like Blank Link or like the cursor or whatever, like there are some sprites that are pretty tough to tell. Most regular sprites, it's easier to tell, right? So like, so I place the block. Let's say I go too far, right? So now when I push up, you can see that I'm facing up and the block moved. That's not good. That's how you know you did it wrong. So the opportunity here is you can tap left and then you can push up a bit and see if you've turned to the right. If you do, just push up again and you walk right through the wall, right? And you're good. Okay, good. I tried to miss it. If you go too far, right, when you push up, you'll face up and the block will move. And so a lot of people watch Koi's tutorial. He talks about this and it's very well. This is not a failure state. You can salvage this. Like a lot of people, when they miss it, they'll like push too far and they'll start moving out of the... No, that's why what I recommend is just tap it at first and see which way you turn. And the reason is, if you missed it, what you can do, what I like to do is I tap back down, tap right, and then tap left again, right? Because that time I got it on the second left tap and I can go through. So it's salvageable, right? If you miss it, okay, I missed, I tap down. The reason you tap down is just to kind of reset the block's position, because the point is the way that you fail this is eventually you push it up too far and the block goes bye-bye. So, I tap up, I failed, I tap down to kind of like reset the block here. I tap right to push, you're pushing yourself back against the wall. So now we've reset ourselves. We've reset ourselves. So you can try again from this position. Tap left, tap up, I didn't get it. So I tap down again, I tap right, tap left, tap up, didn't get it. But you can see I'm just sitting here, and that time I got it. Like I failed, what was that, 4 times, 5 times in a row? And then I got it. And once I turn to the right, I can hold up. So the idea is, the reason why you'll see sometimes a lot of people take a long time here is that they'll do this, they'll miss, and then, okay, well, I got it. Let me, so they'll do this and they'll miss, shoot, okay, now I've got to get myself back. I'm taking a long time to get myself back in the right position. The thing to do is, once you get yourself in a good position here, right? And then you get yourself stuck on the wall and you get your Samaria block placed, that's the only block you ever need to put. It's also important because it saves magic, which matters in this dungeon, right? Magic is kind of tight, especially if you don't have a bottle. You actually can only afford to do this once if you're planning on, if you didn't hit the switch, or twice if you did, if you don't get any other magic in the dungeon, because of the magic uses that you need elsewhere. Also, if you have to kill the Freezors, like, there's a lot of things that can cost magic. You really don't want to use too much magic here. So, place one block, tap to the left. I'm intentionally failing. I tap up, I didn't get it. Tap down, tap right, and now you can try again. Tap left, tap up, And we got it that time. You can see he's facing right now. He's not facing up. And I walk through. And now again, my personal preference, the way that I do this, is I will use the sword buffer. I tap left and then B to try and ensure that I fail less often. A lot of people, if you watch like some random players, like they'll just do this and they'll just keep doing that until they get it, you know? And then it's like, they'll just keep trying it. Like, to me, like, this can take a while. Screwed up. Right? But, like, eventually you can get it. Like, you can saw, I failed, like, 50 times, right? And then eventually, I got the 1 frame left tap, and then I got it. So, all those failures, I was still fine. I like the slash buffer because my hit rate on that is pretty high. Right? Like, that to me feels pretty fast. That's what I like to do. But again, like tapping left with the pause buffer, I think is fine. Or just again, like left and slash, and then walk through. Like, to me, that seems pretty good. So again, to start, you're entering the room, right? Just hold right and walk to the wall. Then you're gonna try and go one pixel to the left. So again, I like to use this. I use a slash buffer here as well, but you can also just tap until you get it, right? You can see I've got half of Link's shadow is in the light, or the light blue is half covered by Link's shadow. Again, it's like if you look below his shield, you can see that there's a little bit of blue to the left of the shadow. This is the good starting spot. I think the easiest way is pause, unpause and hold down right while the menu is going off. Tap Y to drop the block, and now you are ready to go. So your goal here is tap left and then tap up. If you see Link face to the right, you're good to go and you can walk through the wall. Just after that, just hold up the second time. If you tap up and you see the block move and you see Link face up, just tap down, tap right, and then try again. Right? So the one thing to note, I should talk about the sword buffer here a little bit. If you tap left and B, what you can see there is that I slashed before I moved. This is kind of like the sword buffers. The goal there is like I'm trying to prevent going very far, but so sometimes what can happen is you slash before you move at all. If that happens, make sure you push right to get the block back against the wall, right? And now I'm good. But so here Y, right? I got it, right? That's Icebreaker.